This Friday, you're going to be a multimillionaire. Did you think that a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago, I wasn't even selling roofing.
What kind of money can a salesperson make? 400, 300?
I would say if you would make less than $200,000 working here, you would be fired.
So I'm sitting here with Mike Shelly Jr., Munds. He has no clue why he's sitting here. He's trying to figure it out. But Mike, you're my partner in Munds.
Mm-hmm.
You own a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened Friday night, Mike?
Friday night at about 8 or 9 o'clock, Lance put us, all the partners and himself, on a Google Meet, and he likes to gave us a little heart attack a little bit. He likes to tell us the deal gets killed. Probably the second or third Zoom call he did that for us on. Told us the deal's dead, and then of course, about 5 minutes later, after making us all have a heart attack, he tells us that he got it done. So Friday about 8 o'clock, I think you guys were working back and forth for the past 2 weeks. Got everything done, and the deal is on its way to closing. Closed.
It's closed.
I believe
signed.
it's
It's funded on Friday.
Yeah. Funding on Friday.
So this Friday, you're going to be a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Did you think that a year and a half ago?
Not one bit. A year and a half ago, I wasn't even selling roofing. I was still working for my previous job. So.
And your dad got you pulled into all this?
Pulled about around October of last year is when I first put on a Munn shirt and started doing roofing at all. I was in college, went into finance, and then got into roofing 13, 14, 15 months ago. So no, I wouldn't think I would be sitting here saying that. It's pretty crazy.
And, but your dad thought that. Your dad said, come with Lance, and this will happen. Can you talk me through that process of?
My whole life, my dad has been, he says, a road dog, road warrior, right? Rode around in cars and sold roofing and siding his whole life. There's a reason why I went to college, to get a college degree and work in business, because he did not want that life for me. What he did for 30 years, run appointments and sell them. That's all he did. There was never, what's the end goal to doing this? Where are we going with this? It was just sell the leads on your board and you're done with it. When he met you was right around the time that I was thinking about leaving my previous job. And he said, Mike, this is different. He said, what this guy's plan is and his vision is not just me running leads and being a guy that just sells roofing and siding every day. There's a vision here with something really big. And that's when, I could have saved myself a whole lot of money and not went to college and get a 4-year degree and be paying my student loans every month. But my whole life switched. I went from getting a degree in finance in college to selling roofing, but being a part of something here. And my dad said, this is different. And he was right. And I'm glad I did it.
You saw some of the challenges. Everyone thinks it's easy to build companies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this here. Yeah. Everyone just is like, oh man, it's so fucking easy. It's so easy. This is now my 5th company I sold.
Sure.
Do you believe that it was easy, or can you talk about some of the stressors you saw, some of the fights, some of the arguments? Can you talk about some of the? Because I know you didn't have access to everything.
Sure,
but you saw some of it.
No, I've seen enough.
I'm sure your dad told you a lot, because your dad has a lot more access.
Sure,
he's one of my right-hand guys. So it's a little different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I mean, and again, from when I first joined, my job was to be a salesperson. Right, still is. My job is to go out, meet with customers, sell the jobs, and move on to the next one. Right. And as a salesperson, you kind of lose focus that profitability, right, is a huge portion of it. Getting permits, making sure that the company's insured, right? And all that stuff isn't, like you said, it's not my job personally to make sure all that stuff happens. But there's just being able to say, hey, I did 30 million in revenue this year, and think you're just going to, a guy's just going to walk in your front doors and say, hey, I'm going to sell this company to you. There's so much more. Is it profitable, right? Do you have good people in place, good relationships, right? There's so much more that goes into it. And I think that we were, blessed to have you be the kind of the glue for all that. Is, hey, guys like me and Brian Toff and Jim Ruber, go sell. And, you and Bill on the backside make sure that, hey, the reason why this deal got done, a portion of it is the relationship that you had with these people. Mons holds a lot of weight, right? And it's a great company.
Absolutely.
But, you know, your name and making sure that it got done and the relationship and the promises you made these guys, like, hey, you know, you're buying into a great culture, a great company that's going to be around for another 50 years. There's a lot more that goes into it than just...
It's funny you say that because, like, I not only just said, okay, we're going to sell the company. I also, let's be honest here, I put, you know, escrow and pretty much handcuffs on my leaders saying, if you're not here, you're going to lose money that you would have gotten, right, for the next 2 years. Like, just that simple, right?
Sure.
Like, I'm a straight up guy, right?
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't do that, but I believe the success is so important after you sell a company, not just before you sell a company. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, like, it ain't what you do to sell the company, it's what you do to keep that company growing and thriving after you sell it. And can you talk about that? Were you shocked? I not that I use with handcuffs, but I say, hey, listen, guys, almost 1/3 of your money is placed into just doing the right things.
Sure. And am I able to, like, talk about, like, some of the struggles and stuff? I don't know how much, you know, are they going to be able to cut stuff out?
No,
or?
you can talk whatever you want. Listen, I want people to see the real truth of what the fuck goes on. It's not staged. Like, this is the real shit of partnering with Lance Bachmann, the real shit of the good, the bad, the ugly. But, you know, you heard what I said to everyone that day on the phone. I might not be what you want, but I might be what you needed. And there's a big difference between what you want and what you need.
Yeah. No, so, you know, we, like, just recently, within the past 2 weeks, ran into that roadblock. And, you know, you said to us, and something that stuck with me is, like, listen, I'm not selling, like, these guys were ready to buy the company, right? We're on step 99 out of 100. Yeah. And you said, if I can't get a promise from you guys, you know, are you partners, that you're going to stay for 2 years and that you're going to, when you do stay, you're going to live up to the commitment, I'm not going to do this deal, because I will not sell this company and these guys, you know, have Mons and all the partners leave and it crumbles and there's no culture anymore. Like, you made that very clear to us. I'm not doing it. I don't care what you say. If you're not staying for 2 years, it's not going to happen. But I think with the escrow and all that stuff, you know, Mons is, you know, closing on Friday, whatever, and we all get our money. But it doesn't mean we just all walk out and it's over, right? You know, like there's, like, I'm going to work on Monday, or I'm going to work on Saturday, the day after the deal closes, and go run 2-3 appointments like nothing ever happened, right? It's my life has certainly changed from getting the money, but you know, you have to keep running the business, right? The business is run by people, you know, so the people need to stay in place, and, you know. And
the thing is, it's not even just about the people getting the money like you. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business, and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business, so when they want to sell it, they're able to. You, Ruber, Toffin, you guys, like I said to you guys, it's the other 100 people we employ, all the employees, the subs, their families. Like, we made a commitment to them.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the biggest thing. People don't understand that. I believe that's why the culture is the way the culture is, right? Like, no one takes it. Can you talk about what it's like to be my partner? Am I easy? Am I smooth? You know, that's a good laugh right there. Huh?
like we said, you know, as far as me and your communication back and forth, it's not on a consistent basis like it is with my dad, and even, you know, with Bill, obviously, and Jim and all that. But, you know, I think that the leadership gets passed down from tiers, and I say there's a culture, right? And we have a brand. Like, it's real simple, and we kind of always say it, even when the training classes happen and people come in, like, we don't hire and work with assholes. You know, we just don't. Like there's no way to sugarcoat that. Like, if there's ever a problem in one of these training classes and somebody's coming and doing something that's out of our culture, Barry has them out the door on a plane. Yeah. By the end of the day, like, hey, this is how we do it. This is the way we're going to treat people. We're going to take care of people's families, keep them working. But if you're not going to fit in with us, like, we don't need to beg you to come work for us, right? This is a place that if you want to change your life, you want to make a lot of money, but you also want to be around good people, come join us. But we're not going to change our culture and process for one person because, God, they can sell really good. Like, I think, you know, as good of a salesperson as me or Jim or Brian are, like, you made it pretty clear you would kick us out the door tomorrow if we didn't do what we said we were going to do or follow the process. It doesn't matter how much revenue you put in sales.
Oh yeah, because it doesn't matter. Like, if you be the top salesperson, but if you're making everyone's nightmare, a life a nightmare behind you, are you really a top salesperson? No. Probably not.
No.
Top salespeople know how to do things and execute everything correctly and follow a process. You know, we went through this, and let's just go here, right? and not to speak for your dad, but how's this change you and your dad's life, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I don't know if you're going to have my dad in here and he's going to speak for himself. I'm sure he'll have plenty of words, but, he came from a spot that would keep most people down, and he did a lot of things that, he would love to not have done in his past. But, you put that all aside, I mean, that was all, but with the first day that you and Brian and my dad even talked about possibly going into business with each other, I think, he laid it out on the table and you said, that's all right. I trust you, Mike. I think that you can do a good job for us. And, this has been a life-changing experience for him, because if it wasn't for people like you to pick him up from where he was, God only knows where he would be today, and I wouldn't be here and Brian wouldn't be here, and this would be looking a whole lot different.
Well, I mean, this is what your dad has to understand. I always use this line. It's the best line I ever heard. And I don't know if you ever saw the movie Patriot with Mel Gibson. Did you ever see it?
No.
And you got to watch it. In the opening scene or two, it's, I pray that the sins of my past aren't too much for me to bear, or something like that. I mean, like, he doesn't want his fucking family being tortured, killed. And it winds up being a great movie, The Patriots. Watch it. But we all got passed. Yeah. And people don't realize the difference between people that have passed on paper and ones that don't, or knowing the people that didn't have the money to get the fuck out of it. Yeah. And your dad, listen, he made mistakes, but you don't think I ever made mistakes, Mike? Yeah. I mean, honestly, you don't think I ever did?
No, I'm sure you have.
Like, people make mistakes. It's it's what you do after those mistakes that really defines your character. Yeah. Like I said to people all the time, and like, your dad, without this, I mean, without your father, I'd say this to anyone, LB Capital wouldn't be what it is. I mean, you see me, I brought him with LB Capital. Yeah. I mean, I made that decision when he came back. Like, I guess talk about you getting engaged, you're buying a house. Like, do you ever think this shit was happening 18 months ago? You'd be buying a house, you're getting engaged. Like, you got a lot of things going on. Yeah. Man. Like,
when, and like, there's no disrespect to my friends and the people that are my age that I hang out with, right? Like I made a decision a year ago to, stop drinking and put all that stuff aside, because, I realized real quick once I came here, like, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like, I need to have a clear mind and be sharp. I'm in a situation now with, even just before, with the money I'm making just selling, right? Plus this money coming in, like, I'm light years in front of where kids are, my friends and my age. And again, that's no disrespect to them. It just...
No, listen, I said this, a guy asked me the other day from the mastermind, he's 23 years old, and he said, what would you tell your 23-year-old self? I said the first thing I would do is tell him to fire every fucking friend I had. Yeah. And that's the truth. I fired every friend I had. Like, and that doesn't mean they're bad people or they're not great. It's just, if you aren't like-minded, and the problem is when you're hanging out with friends at 23 years old, you most likely are like-minded. You're drinking, chasing tail, you're doing all the wrong things. You're not doing productive money-making activities. I truly believe if I would have started this journey that I started in my 40s probably, if I would have started in my 20s, I'd be a billionaire. Probably. Like a billionaire. Yeah, probably. Like, and I don't regret it, because listen, I wouldn't, some of the times I had are the best times of my life. Someone said to me the other day, he's like, man, like, you can go to the Ritz or eat at any restaurant you want. I said, I can still tell you some of my best times were sitting in Northeast Philly eating wings and drinking $1 a pint of beer. Right. Like, that's the truth, right? So, like, it's who takes the journey with you, not, the destination. I always say that. But you did the right thing by getting away from your friends. Let's just talk about the... I wanted to add one more thing, if I could. Like, they're and again, one of the people I hang out with, if they talk about stuff like buying a house, right, or getting a ring, man, the economy's so bad right now, man. Like, how am I ever going to buy a house? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And, people just make excuses for why they can't take a step forward and elevate in their life. And, I look at it and I say, well, you say the economy's bad. Mom sold $25 million worth of roofing and siding. Year one. So, you just got to go and do it, right? We did $100 million in residential roofing. You can talk and make excuses, but... The economy's not bad. You're bad. Yeah. It's funny. One of our sales leaders just asked us to lower our pricing. I just happened to walk into the meeting, and Bill goes, you want me to lower our pricing because you can't hire the standard of your selling? Right. And like truthfully, like people don't understand the profitability you need. When you have the administrative people we have, when you actually have the production people we have, when we have a system processes, you have service titan, you can't charge and be a low budget and we give a 5-star pledge. We take care of people.
Can't protect your customers, charge them, Correct. You can't protect them.
Hey, here's a question for you. What kind of money can a salesperson make? Like people don't realize how much money are in home services sales. What would you say a good salesperson should make? 400, 300?
I would say if you would make less than $200,000 working here, you would be fired because you wouldn't be performing up to standard.
Correct. You'd be you would.
But I think on average, our guys are making at the minimum 250. But there's no if you were willing to put the work in and put in the hours, you can make 400, 500,000 easily.
We have people doing it.
We just had it last year. We probably had out of our, let's say we have 10 sales guys, probably had 5 of them. Making that type of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Your mom and you were close. You've been through a lot of adversity. You lost your brother. Who's your best friend. And not to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
But if he was here today and he's seeing you, that you're a multi-millionaire, what do you think your brother would say to you? It's,
me and my dad always had this discussion. We always said he would have, he might not have been the best sales guy. He probably wouldn't be out there like me and my dad being in the meetings, talking to people like this. Maybe be like a project manager or something. We would have found the spot for him. He would have been, super proud, especially, from just seeing all the stuff that we've overcome and seeing what we've built here and how me and my dad's lives have completely changed and took a 180 from the direction that it was, that it was in. He would be happy for sure. This is like we said, this is life-changing stuff. This isn't just, a couple dollars. This changes people's lives, truly.
Well, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate everything you did here, and go sell those 2 jobs today.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.